If you are new, welcome. If not, welcome back. Today, we'll be going over iOS 16.4 Beta 1. Now this comes in at about 5.4 gigabytes. So we'll go into Settings, go into General, and then About. Tap on iOS version. The build number for this is iOS 16.4 20E5212F. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel, turn on the post notifications, and join my notification squad. So going back into the settings, we're going to go to software update under general. And here we have automatic updates on. And then here we have this new area, beta updates, iOS 16 developer beta. You can turn this off, iOS 16 developer beta, iOS 16 public beta. Receive beta updates on this iPhone to test drive pre-release versions of iOS and provide feedback to help make Apple software even better. I'm still not seeing anything for Matter accessories inside of the settings here. So one of the first big changes to this is added support for Unicode 15.0, and here are some of the emojis that they have. So going back into settings and going into general, tap on About and then tap on coverage. And here it shows the different coverages. So here on the iPhone, and then all of the other paired devices that have coverage. And then here it would say Apple Care Plus or coverage expired for the rest of these. And then coverage is shown for this device and select Bluetooth paired devices. There should be a change in the cellular data area where the cellular data options have changed for voice and data. So 5G auto, 5G on, LTE, and there should be another thing down here that says standalone, but I do not have a T-Mobile device, so it's not on there yet. So this is a page from 9 to 5 Mac where it says 3 gigabit per second iPhone speeds could be coming soon as iOS 16.4 brings 5G standalone support. And this is what it would look like, where it says 5G standalone. 5G standalone uses 5G for all cellular activity, including cellular network connections. In certain conditions, 5G standalone may be used when necessary to provide cellular service. So there are some new features in the Home app where both manual and automatic software update support is now available for Matter accessories. And then here are the known issues for the Home app and the workarounds if you would like to read that here. So there are some new features inside of Safari for macOS, Big Sur, macOS Monterey, macOS Ventura, iPadOS 16.4 beta, and iOS 16.4 beta. So the browser changes, new features, added dark mode support for plain text files, added fingerprinting countermeasures for querying the permission state of the notifications API. So there are some new features for web apps, added support for web push in web apps saved to the home screen on iOS, and then added support for the ID member in web app manifest files, added support for the bridging API, added support for third-party browsers to offer add to home screen from the share menu. So there are some new features inside of Apple Podcasts, and here it says channels and library. Later this spring, listeners will be able to find and browse all of their podcast channels in one place on iPhone, iPad, and Mac. When a listener follows a show that is part of a channel, the channel will appear in a new section of library. Channels that listeners subscribe to are located at the top, followed by channels for free shows that listeners follow, and this is what it would look like. And then when listeners tap on a channel, they will see the shows they follow at the top. Channels that offer subscriptions feature additional rows for subscriber shows and episodes to help listeners discover these premium experiences. There are also Up Next improvements. The Up Next queue features new episodes from followed shows to help listeners decide what to play next. With these software updates, Up Next will also include episodes listeners have saved to their library and episodes that will play from shows they do not follow. That is interesting. Here's all the information here if you'd like to read this. And then enhancements to episode presentation. Listeners will benefit from enhancements to the way episodes are presented across Apple Podcasts. For example, listeners can see how many unplayed episodes are available for them at the top of each show page, and from the recently updated section of library, quickly understand how recently a new episode was published and identify early access subscriber episodes that are made available to them as part of their subscription. Subscriber episodes will also display the name of the associated subscription. And then Up Next and Browse come to CarPlay. So here is what it would look like inside of CarPlay. Many listeners enjoy podcasts while they're commuting, and with iOS 16.4, there are many improvements to the Apple Podcast experience in CarPlay. Soon listeners will be able to access their Up Next and recently played cues from Listen Now in CarPlay. Passengers can also explore new editorially curated podcast recommendations from the Browse tab. When listeners navigate to show pages, the latest episodes are conveniently displayed at the top. And then here, there's even more precise analytics if you would like to read this. So there are some new features to keyboards. So updates to keyboards include support for new Unicode 15.0 emoji, Autocorrect for the Korean keyboard is enabled by default for testing and feedback. Ukrainian keyboard now supports predictive tests. Gujarati, Punjabi, and Urdu keyboards add support for transliteration layouts. And new keyboard layouts are available for Choctaw and Chickasaw. And there are some new features for Passkeys and authentication services. Web browsers on iOS with the COM Apple Developer Web Browser entitlement now have passkey autofill within their WK Web View. This capability works without requiring any code changes or needing to rebuild. And then a new authorization controller API allows you to perform passkey and other types of authorization requests from. So there's some new features with the Apple Pencil. Apple Pencil Hover now provides tilt and azimuth support. And then there are some new features for Safari web extensions and some new features in StoreKit, Swift UI, and then Wallet. Known issues and error might occur when adding or presenting an ID card. So going into widgets on your home screen, there's a new widget for Apple Wallet where it will show order tracking, track and order. So here it has a small one, long, horizontal, and then this huge active orders widget. So there are some new shortcuts here. So we have set VPN, intercom, lock screen, shutdown, set announce notifications, set stage manager, set silence unknown callers, and set true tone. I also noticed some changes inside of Apple Music. So actually my profile picture is now here. And it used to be just over in the listen now area. So here it's on all of these here, which is really cool. So when you want to go to a song, so here we have this song. Maybe I want to play this song next, so play next. The animation is a lot smaller. And then let's say as it was, play last, also really small, instead of taking up the whole screen here like it used to. So let's say I'm gonna favorite this artist. And now it says favorited on the bottom, so let's try that again so you can see it. Unfavorited, and then let's tap this, favorited, just like that. That's cool. So going back into settings, we're gonna check out the battery life here to see if there's any changes. So last charged to 84% an hour ago, and up here we're at 59%. That's a little bit terrible. And then going back into battery health and charging, maximum capacity 87% for this device here. Honestly, I wish it would show the last actual time that I had this on the charger so I could gauge how long the battery would actually last. That'd be cool. So notice inside the Tips app, there are some new user guides for iPhone, Apple Watch, and AirPods. So like the connected devices that I have. So I could see the user guide here for the AirPods, the Apple Watch, and then also the iPhone, which is pretty cool. And I'm sure if you had a Mac or a HomePod, it would show this here, or other devices as well. That's it for iOS 16.4 Beta 1. If you have any questions, drop the comments down below and I'll interact with you down there. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day or night to consume my content. I really appreciate that. And I hope you have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.